Hello, everyone. Good morning and happy weekend to all Agberians, wherever you are, those in Agwa, those in abroad, any part of the country where you are. We are proud people and we are happy to be back in the studio. Today, the 26th of November 2022, we promise to be here every weekend to rub minds and talk about issues as they concern us here in Agua. On this note, I'd like to welcome all our viewers and those that will be hearing from us after now. Um, as usual, it's a pleasure to introduce the young men, the gentleman that has always been on this studio, talking about how we can move uh, our country land, as in this case, our Agua, which is our home land. That's our first country. Our first country and our first homeland is Agua before we go to extended country, talking about Nigeria. So, shout out to all Agua sons and daughters. Please keep up what you are doing and be proud of yourself. We are good people. Darkness cannot overpower the light. The light in Agua must shine. And on this note, I'd like to welcome you all. Okay, let me at this point introduce the gentlemen here in the studio. Let me begin with Comrade Uchenwoke John Mbono. Comrade John Mbono is one of the Agua sons that are vying for the position of the State House Assembly, and we hope that he will emerge victorious in the forthcoming election. And he's one of us here in the studio, and we are proud, we are supporting him, and we wish him success. Comrade John Bono, you are welcome to today's program.
Good morning, my anchor man, Mr. Chairman. Happy weekend into Ndiagwa. It's good to back again to our usual business. Thank you.
Thank you, Comrade John Bono. Okay, we have again in the studio Comrade Wisdom. Comrade Wisdom is joining us this morning. He's also one of us, has always been with us in the studio, and is also a proud son of Agua. Comrade John, welcome to today's program. Sorry, Comrade Wisdom, welcome to this program.
All right, good morning, Ndiagwa. It's been a long week for us, and then we wish to relieve ourselves with happenings around Agua as usual. I will implore you to stay tuned and listen very carefully as we give you updated to the things that are happening. It's our pleasure to always be with you. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you and welcome. All right. Today we are looking at the developments in Agua and the way forward. I'll be handing over to Comrade John Mbono, who will take us on some of the activities, some of the events that happen in Agua, and then we'll talk about them within the short time we have for this program. All right, over to you, Comrade Uchenwoke Mbono.
Okay. Thank you, our esteemed viewers. This is Inside Our Weekend Digest. Though we are expecting our guest to join us in today's program, that is a Chief Superintendent of Police, Cajethan Onwusor. He's having a little technical challenge. I hope he joins us. But before that, let's bring you Agwa. We want to start with our electrification projects. That is Agwa electrification project flagged up by Sterling Global Resources. From what we know, yes, the job is progressing, but not that as we ought to, as it ought to be, because we are told that Agua is going to be electrified on or before 31st of December. But from the development on ground, I doubt if that dream is going to come true. I think that is the first one, and I would want us also to share our views on that. Over to you, Mr. Comrade Wisdom Ugwebu. We want to share your thought on that.
Okay. Well, for us, Agrarian, we have always had this um, doubt that there is definitely going to be light or electricity in Agua by December, because when the project came up, people were like, "Oh, this is normal or the usual promise they used to give us." Because it started from, let me bring in the person that actually um, heightened the fate of Agua, the person of Honorable Kinsley Luju, who came and made a promise of electrifying Agua in 90 days. But at the end of the day, the 90 days has elapsed and we've not seen anything. Then came in Sterling Global, and today, as at the report we had yesterday, nothing so confident has been done to tell us that actually we are going to actualize this vision by the end of December, and that has bridged the efforts put together by the ACU Electricity Committee, who deemed it fit to take the responsibility upon themselves before these two people stepped in, the Sterling Global and that of the House of Representative member. Well, for me, we are not losing faith yet because anything can happen. But what we are saying is that time has come when we need to stand to our feet and say, if these people are doing this thing, they do it. If they are not doing it, they allow us to take our faith by our hands. Because the earlier we realize that promises cannot take Agua to any developmental stride, the better for us. It's time that Agua sons and daughter, just like we have ACU electricity committee, stand up and say, step aside, all of you that have been playing with our development. Let's do this thing and tell ourselves that we can do it, which I know and I believe very well that we can do it. Amidst all other challenges that will be coming forth in time of taking up this project. So I believe that the resources that is needed to do this thing are all on ground. So it doesn't take Sterling anything to say, yes, let me actually take control of this project and do it within a space of 1 month plus. What they are doing us, I think they are just playing politics on us. And it is not good for us as an Agua, as Agrarians. It's not good for us. There is nothing that we can write home about when it comes to development. And they are trying to fix all this thing in order for that our children will have a better future for us. But then it's not coming forth. So for me, I think if Sterling is not ready, they should just open up and allow us do what we need to do. Simple, and that is just it.
Yes, wisdom. I think I will subscribe to what you said. You know, the issue of people coming to Agua promising us they will do this and they will do that, and at the end nothing happens, is something that calls for serious concern. I wonder how a global company, or how a reputable company such as Global Oil will promise us, and the assurance was so, they were there in Owerri, and we followed up with that meeting. And in one of our program, we invited the community relation officer who was here and gave us his word that come December, we will have light in Agua. And I do know that some point too, we called on the electrification committee chairman, Mr. Ndukozo, who was also here, and gave credence to that project, and promised that by December, the people of Agua are going to enjoy electricity. And also, we heard from the president of Agua Central Union, who also assured the people of Agua that come this December, there will be light in Agua. But I think something is not going well, uh, given the pace of the work. If you analyze the way the job is going, one can begin to fear if those assurances and promises can be met. And we know that things are not easy. We know that sometimes in a project you suffer some difficulties, but it's just a wake up call and to plead with our leaders that they should look at it and see where something is going wrong, and then see how we can follow up with that, because it would be nice that a promise is made to a people and it is fulfilled, it will give us more confidence in them. I think we are calling on them and we are appealing that those that are responsible with that project should please and please, for the first time, give us reason to believe in them and to know that our welfare is of utmost concern to them. On that note, Comrade John Bono, I don't know what you may have to say around this issue of electrification. You are one of the persons that interfaces Agwa most often. And from what you are seeing, is there hope that come December, this promise of electrification will be met, following your observation and the pace of work going on?
For me, there is a hope because I'm a product of hope, and I sell hope to people. I'm not a product of doom. Concerning the Agwa electrification, that project was a project embarked on a high momentum of results. But from the look of things, if we want to be fair to ourselves and tell our people the gospel truth, come December, we might not actually celebrate the Christmas with electricity as earlier promised. But then the work is still ongoing. I think they are in the communities. I mean, within the host communities, that of Mbala, Omumpo, and Umufuke, they are now erecting poles, replacing the old ones within the community. But then I was also briefed that some of the electrical installation has been already delivered to the contractor, like wires and others, wellheads. That's going to the next phase will not be actually be a problem. Then we also want us to believe that just as Mr. Wisdom said, and you, that the quarters that are responsible in reaching out to Sterling Global, they are not relenting. That being said, I also want us to also know that if Sterling Global are intentionally correct and optimistic with India, from now to December is a very long time to speed up their effort in making sure that this light comes to a reality as a promise, so that we will have confidence in them, because governance is all about confidence, and when the confidence of the people is went up, it means there will be a loss of faith. So we are believing that the quarters responsible in reaching out to Sterling will also ask them what is going on. Your promises seems to be winning up. Are we also expecting what you said that was going to happen, or are we to be believe what we've been believing before? So these are the things that we'll be expecting from our leaders and the Sterling, so that by December we'll know where we are. Yeah, we are. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Comrade John Bono, for that insight. All right, that was an Agua electrification project, and we are still optimistic that by God's grace they will keep to their promise, and the people of Agua will be happy with everybody. Okay, moving on. Yes, the burial of the oldest man in Agua was another event that happened this last week. Comrade John Bono, you were there. Can you brief us?
Yeah. It was a really a glorious burial, if I may borrow that word. And the people of Mbala and Agwa at large turned out in mass to bid farewell to their father, late Chief Christopher Nnadi Bulam Elebwa from Umusebelu, Ochibud, Mbala, Agwa. But there was one spectacular thing that happened, which caught the fancy of passerby yesterday. The corpse was conveyed from Izombe, that is Uchenna mortuary, to Agwa. Then the youths of Umwesebelu Agwa, in their usual manner, that they normally mimic a lifestyle of somebody when the person passes on. They all display all of this yesterday. That is, they started with bicycle display, that the late chief, being someone that have served um, some white men during the colonial period when these people were here with us, and be someone that have traveled all the way to Spain, that is Fernando Po, Equatorial Guinea. He has a white life culture, and he carried it over until death. So they came with their bicycle, I mean youths. They rode from here to at some point to Ejimekuru, displaying a lot of things. When you go to inside Agwa page, you get to know what I am trying to say. But then on a general note, the burial was a successful one. The Catholic Church of Agwa, that is St. John, also turned out in mass, and it was a good one. Nobody had issue with each other. The burial was a successful one. And one remarkable thing that people were attesting to, and that is for someone to, that is for the need for people to live a good life. People said that the man was an honest man, someone that loved his people, that that he easily apologized to people, whether he is wrong or not. And that is a rare quality for a leader or a father, that ability to always say, I'm sorry, that the man would always, at all points, at any call, to say, I'm sorry, just to make sure that peace reigns. And that peace he carried uh, onto death. And so that was why people came out in mass, and it was a fun. In fact, it was a fun. But then another one that also happened was the number of burial ceremony that happened in Bala yesterday. I think total was about five. Five, yeah. Five burial happened at Mbala yesterday, including that of Nze Osuoha. I don't know if you know him. Nzosuaha is one of Nzes in Agwa, and he lived in Warri.
Sorry, do we
Or
still have?
two.
Sorry, Comrade John Bono. Do we still have Inze? Do we still have Inze in Agua? Because I'm surprised to hear that and Inze was buried yesterday.
Yes. Nzosuaha. He was buried yesterday. Yeah. I think the living Nze we have in Agwa is the father of Honorable Watchards, Nzenanna. Yeah. Yeah, since Christianity came on board, and people are giving it to Christianity, there are reluctance title holder in Agua. I think is generally in the entire southeast. People are no longer taking it serious. So also buried yesterday. He was living in Warri, and that is where that controversy comes from. That is a title, because people say that Nze doesn't go to beer parlor to eat, but in his own type of Nze, he was eating as if he's a commoner like me. So that was one spectacular thing that makes that his own Nze to be a controversial one. So, but yesterday he was buried, and we have also another Nze at Umuebu. That is Aham Ajoko. I think the father of our Japhet Ajoko from Umuebu. It's also is in the mortuary. The burial will be coming up anytime soon. We also have another one that will be somehow, because it was a Watchart's father, Nzenana, that is popularly known as half lawyer. I think his burial will be also coming up this Saturday. So these are the things, most of the events around barriers that happen in Agwa. But generally, yesterday was a tough one in Mbala because you can imagine having 5 barriers within a particular autonomous community. Okay, I think we should also talk one or two things within this topic.
All right, thank you so much, Comrade John Bono, for giving us a rundown of what happened within the last week. Comrade John, Comrade Wisdom, I would like to um, seek for your comments or your input around. I'm particularly now. I'm talking about the oldest men in Agua. One of them has been buried yesterday, like Comrade John hinted us now. Do we still have I do know that before now, Agua is blessed with old men and women. You see them with walking stick. But now, do we still have old men in Agua? Can you remember any? Comrade John, Comrade Wisdom.
Okay. Just like you said, for me, the thing of joy is having a celebration of life. When you see an obituary and you see that word celebration of life, it means that that person actually has lived a life of emulation and as well as lived long. That alone is the entire joy for entire Agua. Having somebody who clocks 100 and then going to 119 or thereabout, you know, it's a thing of joy for all of us. So when I was online yesterday, I was viewing following up the funeral movement and all that, seeing those bicycles and the rest of them. I was like, wow, is this really happening in Agua like this? Like this, people bringing out bicycle, doing a lot of things and all that. I was just happy yesterday following up. Though I didn't comment, but I know I was just filled with joy. And the night itself, I was like, well, I wish I am around, man. This could have been something that I would have witnessed. But then we thank God for that. If people will live up to that age in Agua, I think we have nothing to bother about. In the area of untimely death and all that. Because I know as at the olden days that you have people that clocks 90, 100 and all that before people begins to die. But these days, untimely death and taking of lives and all that has caused us a lot of harm. So for the other men, I think just like he said, before I left Agua, I usually have this interaction with the person of Watch Out's father, because he stays close to my house. So, and then talking with the man, I have a lot of experience about him. Means that one too is, has advanced to a certain extent. He has advanced to a certain extent in life, and I think we should also count him as one of those um, old men in Agua, because looking at the history background. In fact, I was even there. I was there, boo. I think I was able to
Are
hear.
you sorry, Comrade Wisdom? Are
Yes.
you saying that Watcher's father is one of the oldest men in Agba now? Because I
If
know Pa Elebua was, in fact, talking about him, he was a humble man. The day we visited him, inside Agba was there with him. You see a man that is pure in heart, a man that at that age he still knows and practice, Christianity. He could see lead us how he used to pray and all of that. It was a wonderful experience with him, and I pray we have such men. So I wouldn't want us to say this person is the oldest man. Let the family come up and tell the people of Agua that my father is the oldest man, so that you don't put
No, no, no,
yourself
no,
in
no, no.
problem.
That is, I'm not trying to be controversial. I'm not saying he's the oldest man. Just like
Okay,
your question said. Your question said, do we still have men who
okay,
are
okay.
older in the Agua? Are you getting me? Because I know very well
Okay.
that it was the same man I'm talking about that I had the history of how the popular okroshi we used to uh, have during the festive period of August and the rest of them. Then he took
Yeah.
time to lecture me how it came about, and I think to an extent he said a woman even brought in Okrosha into Agba. But that's a discussion of another day. Are you getting me? So a man who
Okay.
has such wealth of knowledge or experience, you could believe or have to understand with me that he has, to an extent, gotten to be at least classified as one of the oldest people in Agua today, having
All
seen
right.
his children and children children. Okay.
All right.
So
Thank
for
you.
me,
Thank you.
I think he should be. Thank you.
Thank you, Comrade Wisdom, for that. Like you said, it's going to be a program for another day where we are going to profile all the old people in Agua. But honestly, it's a thing of joy that we have our fathers and mothers grow to a ripe age of 100 and above. And it's always a thing of joy. All right. Moving forward, and before we wrap up the program, Comrade John Bono, you are almost always visiting Agua. How is security in Agua? Because people are apprehensive. Agua is not safe. You can't enter Agua now, and all of that. Following the ugly incident that happened a few weeks ago, which we are not here to talk about. But looking at security, how is security in Agua now? Are people moving freely? How is economic activities in Agua, and how are people faring in Agua?
Wonderful question. But just like you said, we would have liked to discuss this topic with a security expert. And that was one of the reasons we invited our father, a senior police officer, chief superintendent of police in that matter, with huge experiences, Cajethan Onwusor, to talk about this. But from my own unofficial report or observation, Agwa is always a kind of bee, a bee. When it stonks, you actually may not really see why that bee stung. I don't know if you're getting me. I know why I'm using the, but
Yes, yes.
with as long as it's a bee, people tend to associate a lot of things attribute to it. I don't know if you are getting me. Now, yeah, we've been having a security challenge, and the people have been surviving it. The event of a few weeks is not an exemption, but the truth remains that Agua is calm. Agua is calm and peaceful. People are transacting their businesses. I don't know if you are getting me. There's no further breach of security in Agua after the incident. But commentators will always say that Agua is Agua, Agua is this, Agua is that. My dear, there's nothing wrong with Agua. Agua is peaceful. The entire villages in Agua are peaceful. They are going about their normal businesses, and of course, it's after the incident, it calls for a proactive action to combat insecurity, which leaders in Agua are taking care, particularly the ACU. They are on top of the whole. So someone telling you that Agua is not peaceful, I think it's not a good report. At least I shuttle here and I hear from people and also see from people there's nothing wrong. There's no breach of security going on. In fact, in addition to that, the traditional rulers have stepped up their erecting a toll gate. I think that of Mbala has stepped up. OBD has also stepped up. They've done another toll gate at Oku Road, Agwa Oku Road. They've done that one. I think they've already also erected it. So generally, there is nothing. There's no security breach in Agwa currently.
All right. It's good to hear, and we're happy that all the people concerned are doing everything within their power to see that we have um, security, and we know that God will see us through, no matter what the devil is doing. God will see us through, and those that are behind all of this thing happening, we know that God is going to touch them, and for them to, you know, turn a new leaf. We can't continue to live like this as a people. And we are hoping that um, light will surely overcome darkness. That is our prayer, and God will help us. All right. On that note, I would like us to talk about the way forward for Agua. And in a few minutes, the way forward for Agua, and then that will be the end of the program. What is the future of Agua? And let me go to Comrade Wisdom. Comrade Wisdom, in a few minutes, can you tell us what you foresee for Agua, your vision for Agua? Way forward. You can unmute
Agwa,
yourself. Okay, okay.
yes,
Go ahead. We can hear you.
Agwa as a clan has a very big, wider future and dreams. At least with the hope of what I have been able to mingle with people around me and outside me. I know that all the challenges that are coming towards Agua now is a way forward to keep us stronger. A way forward to keep us stronger. All we just have to do is not to lose faith. We don't have to lose faith in our Agua because know that in no distant time, a lot of things will be happening. You see younger generations who are coming up these days have a lot of things to do for Agua. And you get to not understand that one day, one fateful day, the entire Imo State, in fact, the entire Nigeria will be envious of this upcoming Agua that we have today. So amidst whatever that's happening, Agua is our own. I will definitely believe in Agua. I will defend Agua anywhere we are today, tomorrow, and next. Believe me, we are great people. I will have a very, very wide and big vision for Agua.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Comrade Wisdom. Comrade John Bono, back to you again now. What is the way forward for our um, our town? What's the way forward for Agua in a few minutes' time?
There's no good, better way forward than to be an Agwa man. And what do I mean by this? To stand firm, be courageous. That is a clear trace of an Agwa man. Be courageous, stand firm in what you are doing. But then, like what Wisdom said, Agwa is a typical example of an Igbo man. Any place you go, be it, call it a state or continent, that you didn't see an Agwa man, you better take your leave. And I'm confident that the seven continents of the world, that's why people are living there. It's just a fact. So do you joke with such a clan, not actually a local government? Agua is lively. The only place you can come is bubbling every time. Anytime you come, it's lively. They are there in education, they are there in politics, they are there in business, they are there in all the walks of life. So the only thing I keep on telling us is that we shouldn't take what people take us to be. That's the wrong one they take us to be. We shouldn't add towards it. Rather, we should also always disappointing them, letting them know that we have things that we can offer other than what they are telling us. So in a nutshell, there are hope, there are huge hope in Agua. And I believe in leadership of HCU and the new Agua breeds that are coming up. They are, from what we are seeing, they are coming up with the spirit of patriots. So the future is a very big one, brighter, huge, and enormous. Well, forget about what is happening now. It's a cleansing process. It's a cleansing process. We'll come to when the light will not be always when the light will illuminate or will shine brighter and brighter. So that is what I have to say.
Thank you so much, Comrade Bono, for that, and also thank you to Comrade Wisdom for all of the contribution we have made this morning. I'm sure that God will help the people of Agua. Nobody should lose hope. Darkness will not over shadow the light. That I believe. The light in Agua must shine. We are optimistic about that, that the light will shine. And also a shout out to Agua Central Union and to our president and other executives of the ACU. And we are praying that God will give them the strength to continue the good work they are doing, and that we are sure that God will help the people of Agba. All right, thank you everyone for joining us today. We hope to see you next week, and we'll be back with another program of this kind. Thank you, and God bless you, and do have a wonderful weekend. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today. See you sometime next week. Bye.